day, mates. Boy, today is a special day for me. It's a really special day. No, it's not my birthday. No, it's not. It's not anything like that. If I were in Hungary, I'd say no, it's not my name's day. They celebrate name's day over there. Today is. Wait a minute. Wait. Before I tell you what today is, hang on a second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Boy, I had to put these on, my overalls, because today is the day that I've been waiting for quite a long time. Today is the day that I'm gonna start my garden. That's right, I'm gonna start my garden. And you know, if I seem a little bit excited about it, it's because I am. Years ago, probably the better part of 25 years ago, I built the most beautiful garden for a community that I was living in. It was a community garden. And boy, I loved that garden. That garden was my life. I used to start my days in the garden, and I would end my days in the garden. And I would always walk the neighborhood, and I'd give neighbors, you know, vegetables and what have you out of my garden, what have you. But today is the day that I'm gonna build my second garden. And you know, I'm gonna do that because I've never owned a home before. You know, I've owned condos, but I've never owned a home with property that I could turn a shovel, so to speak. So today is that day, and I'm gonna share it with you. And in doing so, I'm gonna just give you a little bit of ideas to what has gone into the planning of the garden. And then I'm gonna let you watch me put together I bought container. It's gonna be a container garden. So with that being said, let me give you some feedback as to, or not feedback, but let me give you some background. That's the word I was looking for. Let me give you some background onto what went into my thoughts on where I'm going to build the garden and why I'm going to build the garden, etc., etc. So let's do that.
Okay. So you can edit this too, put it together.
Yeah.
All right.
So now I take this. Come on, follow me if you would. You're going to stand behind me. All right, so this is my property here in beautiful Eagle, Idaho. And my property consists of just under half an acre. It's a good sized property. And as I'm filming this right here, that right there is due east. You are looking at due east. So those of you that paid attention in school, you know that the sun rises in the east and it sets in the west. So what I'm looking at right now is where would I put my garden? And right here I have a little she shed that was left by the previous owner. And you know, I toyed with the idea of putting my garden somewhere out here. I thought maybe I could put my garden somewhere out here, and I may do that before I finish this. But I thought about putting my garden out over in this area. But where I'm leaning on right now is actually putting my garden along the fence right here. You see, my property goes quite a ways. I've got my patio, you know, with the outdoor kitchen and the table and the seating areas, and I even have a hammock here. And this yard goes quite a distance, you see. So the yard goes quite a distance down here, and I thought about, you know, putting my garden down at the other end, but I want to maximize the sun. So I was thinking of putting my garden right along this area right here. And there you can see, no, those aren't caskets. Those are the actual basket. They kind of look like caskets, don't they? I could build a little cemetery out here maybe. But no, those are the boxes for my container gardens, which will open up here in just a moment. But anyway, with that being said, let me open these boxes and I'll share with you what's inside. All right, so here is the here are the container gardens, and you can see I've got one spread out. I was checking the parts, and you know, I gotta tell you, in getting ready to put this together, just over here I've got a container garden that was left from the previous owner, made out of redwood, and I had toyed with the idea of building some redwood or some cedar containers for my garden, but I saw this design and I just thought it was really cool. And then I went down and I saw one of them on display at Costco, which is where I purchased these from. And surprisingly, this vinyl is very sturdy. So I don't think that I'm going to have a problem whatsoever insofar as the sturdiness of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and spend some time putting this together, and I'll let you watch. I don't think it'll be too difficult, you know, but who knows? We will see. Hopefully it'll go I'm hoping it'll go pretty quick. So let's see if my hopes are correct. Oh boy, you know, I was hoping that would go quickly, and it sure did. All right, you can see I've made some progress. I decided I'm going to put the container gardens over here for several reasons, but you know, I went through and I stopped by at a nursery today, I should say, and there was a beautiful lady named Ginger was her name, and she told me that what she would do when she does her gardens is, instead of doing rototilling and all that kind of stuff, she said just cut the grass down low and then put cardboard down. Just put cardboard down, and then over the cardboard put your weed block, and the cardboard will just decompose after a while, and it'll keep the grass from it'll actually kill the grass So this is going to be my space for my garden, and just from the corner of the she shed over to that area right over there is about 20 feet. So I'm just going to have about a foot in between each of the gardens, and that's okay, and I'll be able to go around the rear as well. So now I'm going to get the cardboard down, and I got to tell you, there's a little bit of a learning curve to riding one of these things, believe it or not. And just, you know, for those of you out there that are familiar with these, this whole time I couldn't figure out how to actually engage the blade on this, and I thought this was the turn signal. I thought that was the turn signal, and I called my neighbor over to show me how to engage the blade, and he said, well, that just puts down the mower. So go figure, you know. Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks? I don't know why you'd need a turn signal on a mower in your backyard, but who knows, maybe in case you had a little dog or something like that. All right, on with the show. Well, you're looking at a yard of topsoil, or the better part of a yard. I already started taking some of it into the back, and you know, I gotta tell you, look at this little tractor. They left me this tractor, and boy, it's coming in handy. You know, my neighbor lent me a wheelbarrow, but the height of the beds is such that I wouldn't really have much luck, you know, doing it with a wheelbarrow. So I've got these totes, got these plastic totes that I had picked up at Costco and using for camping, and I'm just filling them and then taking them back and shoveling out what I can, and then dumping it when it gets light enough. So here we go.
Too many days in the darkness without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend less time in your head. With every star, we are born again. Open your heart, spend
Oh boy. It took me about the better part of 4 or 5 hours to fill these halfway with the soil that I brought back from the nursery. And I gotta tell you, it actually went easier than I thought it would. I was thinking it was going to be a real task, wheelbarrow after wheelbarrow and all that kind of stuff, but boy, setting it up like I did with those two containers in the back of the tractor really worked out well. So it's good to have my hands back in the soil. I gotta tell you, I can't even begin to tell you how good it feels. So I've got the compost bins. I had to put cardboard to keep those from filling up with dirt. So I'll figure that out. But we will see, as the saying goes. All right, so now I've got 40 bags of compost to put in here before the sun goes down. So let's see if I can't get that taken care of. Wow. Wow. You know, there's that saying, all in a day's work. And you're looking at it. Well, you're not looking at all of my work for today, because I cleaned the house as well. But oh boy, look at this. I have myself a garden. Wow. Fantastic. And this soil looks really nice. This compost, look at that. Oh, this is going to be a beautiful garden. Thank you for letting me share this with you. Just beautiful. I'm really happy with my decision to put it right where I did. So it's not bad. There's a little bit of bowing here or there, you know, from the weight of the beds, but I drove some stakes down in there. You can see that is bowing a little bit, but there's a stake in there, and I'm just gonna live with it. And maybe next season I'll adjust it. But boy, it looks good. It looks really, really good. And look at, this will be the compost. You see, I'll have neighbors and maybe go down to some restaurants and, you know, build my compost. And that's what's the key of the Keyhole garden. It's you have the compost in the center, and all the plants kind of pull from it. So look at that. Oh, fantastic. Really nice. Really, really nice. And you know, as far as the spot, this is fantastic. I was going to put it over there, but and it might have been okay back over there, but over here I have all this space around, and I can just see putting in maybe a greenhouse at some point in time, a nice little greenhouse, and over here put in a garden table right there. So I'll put in a garden table right there, maybe hang some tools from the side of the shed. And then right here in this lawn area, maybe I'll put a couple chairs. Maybe I'll put a nice couple chairs and even a little table perhaps. We will see. All right, folks, have a wonderful day. Boy, that looks nice. That looks really, really nice.